Welcome to The Soft Life with me, Candy Washington, where we explore all things self-love, manifestations, and relationships with a cheeky dash of pop culture news. So be sure to subscribe, share, and join us on Patreon. Hello, everyone, and welcome back. It's your girl, Candy Washington, and we have a doozy for you today. We are going to dive all the way in. We're going to watch the trailer for Hulu's new documentary, The Randall Scandal, Love, Loathing, and Vanderpump. We know Hulu loves to expose Bravo. They did one on Thomas Girardi and Erica Jane Girardi. They did one on Jen Shaw and Coach Shaw and all of that fraud. And now we have The Randall Scandal with LALA. So I have the trailer. We can watch it. And then after that, let's also go through the infamous LA Times article that really broke the story on him, on the abuse allegations, on the racism allegations, on the fraud allegations. It's a lot. And like 50 Cent said, you better have my money. All right, so let's go ahead and dive in. Go ahead and like, subscribe, and share. So with that, let's first get a little bit of background, and then we will watch the trailer, okay? So this is according to the LA Times. It says, Hulu documentary delves deeper into the Randall Emmett scandal. Men behaving badly in Hollywood, or more precisely, the takedowns of those people in power, have inundated the news over the last few years, with movie producer Randall Emmett being one of the central figures. So much so that a 90-minute documentary, The Randall Scandal, Love, Loathing, and Vanderpump, begins streaming May 22nd on Hulu. Emmett's downfall began with an investigation by LA Times reporter Amy Kaufman and Meg James into claims against Emmett that included allegations of race discrimination, workplace abuse, and questionable on-set behavior toward actor Bruce Willis as his mental acuity declined, all of which Emmett denies. Now, with the Bruce Willis situation, I actually have a personal story about that. So I'll tell that personal story once we get there, okay? So the AB News Studios, LA Times Studios produced doc will feature interview footage with Emmett's fiance, Vanderpump Rules star LaLa Kent, and exclusive interviews with Kent's mom and brother, past employees, and more. Here is a timeline of Emmett's troubles as chronicled by the Times. Vanderpump Rules. Though he was already a film producer, Emmett came to the public's attention in a guest role on season 8 of the Bravo series Vanderpump Rules, a reality show about people working at the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills star Lisa Vanderpump's West Hollywood restaurants and bars. He became a recurring cast member in the 9th season. Though he is no longer part of the show, there's still all kind of scandals going on there. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Bruce Willis. While investigating Emmett, it was revealed that nearly 24 people who were on set with Willis expressed concerns about the actor's declining cognitive state on movie sets in recent years. Emmett produced the films, and in a statement to the Times, he denied of knowing of Willis's condition or that he had been aware of any decline in Mr. Willis's health, a dispute claims. Since 2026, the actor has appeared in 24 projects under Emmett's production company, Emmett Furla Oasis, and the pace of the output heightened as Willis' health declined. Willis was diagnosed with aphasia and later frontotemporal dementia. Willis has since halted his acting career, though he still enjoys impromptu harmonica solos every once in a while. Okay, this is my personal story about the Bruce Willis accusations. So Willis's team has since come out and said, yes, Bruce Willis, like we all know, it's public knowledge now that Bruce Willis does have dementia and he has, ailing mental health faculties regarding his dementia. And his team came out and said, well, there wasn't any exploitation because Bruce Willis wanted to work. He wanted to work. He wanted to make the movies. He wanted to work as long as he could. This is where, okay, this is my personal story. This was a couple of years ago. I went on a date with this guy who I'm still friends with, and he works in the entertainment industry. He is a writer, director. And we were talking about he was talking about stuff and I was talking about stuff, and I don't know how the conversation got there, but he told me, and I'm not going to say his name, that everyone in Hollywood knew about Bruce Willis dementia before it came out. This was a few years ago, and that Bruce Willis did want to work. He wanted to get as many films out as possible because he wanted to make as much money as possible for his family. I think that Bruce Willis got married to a younger woman, and I think he has younger kids or something, not just the kids he has with Demi Moore. And so he wanted to work as much as he could because he wanted to make as much money as possible for his kids. So Randall saying that he did not know about Bruce Willis's dementia, that's a lie, because I knew about his dementia before it came out, and I wasn't even on anybody's set. The guy that I was seeing at the time knew the tea. Is it exploitation? That's questionable. Just because somebody has a mental, dementia with something going on with their mental health and they want to work, is that exploitation? Or are you exploiting the fact that they're in such a vulnerable position for your gain? Because, for him to say, oh, Bruce Willis is in my movies, he can then go sell those movies overseas, make a ton of money. And then, of course, it also bolsters his clout. Oh, you work with Bruce Willis? Well, you must be legit. And as we all know now, he's a big fraudster, just like the Tom Girardis of the world, right? But that's my personal story about the Bruce Willis thing. I knew Bruce Willis had dementia years ago. So Randall definitely knew. All right, but let's keep going. The investigation. And don't forget, we will watch the Hulu trailer because I have it. Okay, here we go. Times reporter Kaufman and James interviewed dozens of people connected to Emmett and his productions. Alongside those interviews, a review of hundreds of court filings and internal company records depicted an empire that was crumbling. The producer faced and still faces lawsuits and mounting debts, as well as allegations of abuse against women, assistants, and business partners. He is accused of inappropriate behavior with women, including offering acting work in exchange for sexual favors. That's what they call the casting couch. Yo, you have sex with me, I'll put you in my movie. That still happens all of the time. That is not something that's like, oh, that's so old. No. That happens all of the time in 2023. But let's keep going. And forcing assistants to conduct dangerous and illegal activity on his behalf. Now, there's allegations that he would get his assistants to do drug runs. They would pick up the drugs, drop off the drugs, all of that stuff. So it's a hot mess. The nearly dozen lawsuits include several from former financiers, an insurance company, and a previous landlord, all clamoring to be repaid their portion of more than $25 million in outstanding loans and disputed payments. $25 million. Crazy. Let's keep going. Marital struggles. The producer and actor Amber Childers divorced in December of 2017. During that separation, Childers said she found a tracking device placed under her car. She later said that Emmett told her that his attorney had directed him to hire a private investigator who then placed the tracking device on my car. She later sought and secured a restraining order against him after discovering threatening messages involving his lawyer. The order was later released, and the two straightened out their legal entanglements and custody issues. LALA Kent was engaged to Emmett from 2018 to 2021 before their relationship imploded amid accusations of abuse. Kent and Emmett are currently involved in a custody battle over their 1-year-old daughter. Now, this is what I think is so interesting. LALA and Amber look so similar. They look so similar, don't they? It's weird how, I guess he has a type, but they look very, very similar. That's Amber. She's an actress. She was I don't know what else she's been in, but some other stuff. Very similar to how he got LALA, have sex with me and I'll give you Range Rovers and I'll put you in my movies. Because LALA was casting couch too. We're just going to call a thing. She was having sex with a producer, and that's how she got in those movies, because she was in about 3 or 4 of his movies. She was in The Row, The Row 2, another one of the movies, and like a couple of them. And I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be a hater like at all. I'm just being honest. She got those roles because she was having sex with Randall. Like, come on. He put the chick he was banging in the movie. You know what I'm saying? And this is the thing when it comes to what did LALA know in the whole situation. I think if it was only cheating, if the only problem in the relationship that Randall was cheating, I think LALA and him would still be together, married to this day. Like, actually have gotten married. I know they didn't get married, but actually gotten married. I think that the reason why LALA actually left him was because the money ran out. And also, because the money ran out. That's right. Because the money ran out. I know that there's other allegations, and I think we'll get to them about, maybe some like him being sexually inappropriate with underage people. I think that is a big problem. I think the dark stuff is why she left. Any of the underage situation going on. I'm trying to be sensitive around, you guys know what I'm saying, with him and underage people being inappropriate. And then also because I think the $25 million outstanding debts and lawsuits, and he's basically broke, robbing Peter to pay Paul, this, that, and the third. But I think that if he still had legitimate money, and if the streets were not out here clowning him out, if he wasn't so washed up, I think she would still be with him. Because she said on the show, the moment she conceived Ocean, she stopped having sex with him. So, and she didn't leave him until about a year later, So it's like, I'm confused. You didn't have sex with him, your fiance, for basically a year. And you're now saying, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I just think that if the money was still there, LALA would still be there. If that makes sense. That's what I think. All right, let's get back to it. Legal troubles. Martin Giblay, 29, one of Randall Emmett's former assistants, accused him of racial discrimination and creating a hostile workplace that included using the use of the N-word. A PA at Emmett's action movie, Midnight in the Switchgrass. He also offered $50,000. He was also offered $50,000 by Emmett to produce a movie. Giblay recently settled his suit against Emmett, though no further details were released. Emmett still faces civil fraud claims and abuse allegations. So basically, he was trying to pay off the guy, the Giblay guy, the Martin guy. He was trying to pay him off to not sue him for racial discrimination and using the N-word. And I have the clip of him trying to do that, okay? So let me find it. All right, let's listen. This is Randall trying to bribe the Martin guy, Martin Giblay, not to go to the authorities with this stuff. He doesn't say it explicitly, but you can tell in his voice, and he keeps saying, like, I'll pay you $50K. So let's listen. Well, sorry, guys, that wasn't playing. But what we can listen to, sorry about that technical difficulty, is the actual Hulu trailer. Are you guys ready? Let's watch.
This was the craziest story.
Outrageous.
Devastating.
Insane.
Randall Emmett is sketch at best.
Randall Emmett, Hollywood movie producer.
LALA Kent, reality star. Vanderpump Rules.
The lifestyle, the Rolls Royces, the jets. You paid so much just to have status.
Vanderpump Rules, it's about these young, hot 20-somethings.
This is the juiciest time in reality show history.
How could I not have been smarter? Like, I beat myself up daily. How is my daughter having to pay for my stupidity and me keeping my blinders on and not wanting to see red flags.
Who was Randall Emmett, really?
Randall was publicly at an apex of his career. He worked with Bruce Willis.
Martin Scorsese.
50 Cent.
But really, behind the scenes, things were already starting to fall apart.
50 Cent suddenly goes on Instagram and says, Randall, you owe me $1 million.
Then 50 Cent posts, "Money by Monday, Randall."
He made a fateful decision to go on camera on Vanderpump Rules.
I literally would not know the name Randall Emmett if I didn't see him on Vanderpump Rules.
The lawsuits.
Over 30 lawsuits.
He was awful to everyone.
It just came off as someone who was extremely self-absorbed.
I was a personal assistant for Randall Emmett.
And executive assistant.
I was Randall's assistant for almost a year.
My first interaction with Randall was him in his underwear.
A bag of cocaine.
Totally naked.
The N-word being used is where I draw the line.
This is certainly the underbelly of Hollywood. It's not the part that you see on the postcards.
Randall and LALA's relationship started to fall apart. Having your daughter living her life that way made me feel very sad.
I hate Randall Emmett.
It's just astounding that he's somewhere still playing the victim when what he has actually done is damage and hurt other people.
I have to put up a big fight.
I do hope he gets what he deserves.
The Randall Scandal. Love, Loathing, and Vanderpump. Only on Hulu.
I'm shooketh. I can't wait. I'm definitely going to watch, and maybe we'll do a viewing party. I don't know. I'm definitely going to watch and we can come back and talk about it. But what do you guys think? I mean, he owed 50 Cent $1 million, and word on the curb is that he also owes Jax Taylor about $70,000. Remember on Watch What Happens Live when Brittany and Jax were on after the whole scandal of it all? And they were talking about, LALA and Emmett, and basically Randall, in my opinion, most likely said, yo, Jax, or Jax said, yo, Randall, let's produce this movie together. You put in $70K, I'll finance the rest. You put your name on it, Jax. You can star in it or you can produce it. Jax thought he was going to break into Hollywood and finally become the actor he's always wanted to be. And basically Randall stole his money. And Andy Cohen was like, yeah, you're never going to see that money back. There's that $25 million outstanding debt that has to get paid first. So it's a hot mess. It's a hot mess. But it's also so, honestly, at this point, it's very much cliche. People who are fraudsters, people who are not what they seem, people who are doing evil things, people who are stealing from people, going on reality TV because they're evil and narcissistic, thinking they're the smartest person in the room, and getting exposed for exactly who they are. Just like the person said in the trailer, we would not know Randall Emmett's name if it were for not Vanderpump Rules. Think about Jen Shaw. You're running this complete scam, and then you go on TV and you get busted. Think about Teresa Giudice. Think about Apollo from Atlanta. Think about the Girardis. The victims in that story said, hey, we're watching Bravo, and all of a sudden we see, Erica Jane spending $40K a month on glam, and we still don't have our money for our meds and our food. Tale as old as Bravo. Dun, 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 dun. But at the end of the day, again, I'm not trying to bash LALA too much, but girl, you knew who you laid down with. You did. You knew who he was. You knew he was cheating. You knew he was a pig. You weren't that into him. This is what I think. I think LALA was very clear on a couple of things. She wanted to be famous. She wanted to have a man who had a lot of money, and she wanted a man with power. And when she thought Randall had money and power, she was all in. But when it turned out he was nothing but a fraudster, like a lot of these people out here pretending to be rich and famous and have all this money, and the truth is they're stealing from everybody in order to fake their lifestyle, then all of a sudden she wanted to get out. I'm not blaming her. I'm not absolving Randall. He's his person. He's done it wrong. But I would be, to use the buzzword of the year, I would be a little bit more empathetic toward LALA if she just came out and said, yeah, there were dollar signs in my eyes. And that's what stopped me from acknowledging the red flags. Not that you were so in love with this man, because there's a difference, right? Sometimes you're so in love with someone or infatuated with someone that, yeah, you do miss the red flags and the signs, and your friends can't tell you anything because you're so in love and you're so infatuated and you're so in lust. I think what she saw was dollar signs. And so she decided, I'm going to go with the green signs rather than heed the red flags. Because I do think she knew exactly who he was. Maybe not the extent of the fraud, maybe not the extent of the allegations about, do I think she knew that he said the N-word? Hell yeah, she knew he said the N-word. Do I think she knew that he was having sex on the side? Hell yeah, she knew he was having sex on the side. The depth of the fraud, maybe she didn't understand the level of the fraud. And then maybe also the stuff with like the underage stuff, maybe not that stuff. But the rest of it, just come out and be honest and be like, you know what? I was a human being. I saw dollar signs. That trumped everything else. And then I realized just how big of a scum he actually was. Do you see what I'm saying? And I'm really, really, really trying to give her the benefit of the doubt that she did not know about the fraud and that she did not know about the darker stuff. But the rest of it, she knew. She was on the casting couch herself. Like, not trying to be disrespectful, but like she said herself, she was given BJs for Range Rovers. She was busting it open for movie roles. It is what it is. So put it down below and stick around my candy canes, because I definitely want to take your candy canes questions and comments. But put it down below. Let me know what you think. Will you be watching the documentary? What are your thoughts on everything? And how much do you think LALA knew? And how do you think this is going to pan out? Do you think Randall will ever be arrested or indicted the way Thomas Girardi is for fraud? Or do you think he's going to be able to weasel his way out of it? Last I heard about Randall, he's no longer producing. Now he's directing. And he just wrapped a film in Georgia with John Travolta. John Travolta is also very questionable. Scientology, a lot of weird stuff going on there. So, that's for a whole nother video. But put it down below. Let me know what you guys think. And be sure to like,